Coach, whenever you're ready, just want to jump in with thoughts on today's game.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, tip the hat to Seattle to come here and play us. I thought it was a neat environment, great opportunity for us to not only get better, play against a good quality team, but raise some money for the future. So I want to thank all the fans that purchased the tickets. College sports have certainly changed. We as a university got to continue to strive forward and make those changes in this revenue sharing model that we're all going by. So I really want to thank all of the people that purchased tickets. There was many people that purchased them that didn't come to the game. So really a win-win today, I thought.
Just first thoughts on team's performance, like offensively, you scored 88 points in that main game. Defensively, kind of seemed a lot better in the second half. Just what are your initial impressions of how your team did?
Yeah, Jason, anymore this time of year, I think, the two biggest things you're really trying to key in on is your transition defense and your ball security, right? And it's hard to play transition D when you don't have great ball security. So, we threw the ball all over the gym at times, right? When we don't throw it to the other team, we're pretty good. We've got to understand ball security, game of possessions. But everybody I talk to, I think, is going through the same thing. 14 is totally way too many turnovers. A lot of them were very careless turnovers, so we'll look at the tape. Only being +3 on the glass, I thought was pretty alarming as well. We got to rebound the ball better, but I thought the kids' effort was good. It's a starting point, right? You got to start somewhere. Never went into a game and played 15 players. I've never experienced that ever. There's a first time for everything, and then to be honest with you, we don't have anything in offensively. We just say play to the next advantage. We don't have a ton of stuff. We've been doing a lot of defensive things here for really about 5 months. So our defense would have been excellent if we didn't throw the ball to the other team. They would have been probably in the low 60s, if that, right? I think the first half they scored 14 points off our turnovers. They ended up with 18. So we were a little better in the second half. But when our defense is set, I think it's really good. So I think, the 76 number is a little bit of a farce based on, how bad we were offensively. The defense has actually been, much corrected. Scheme and, I think, player-wise, we're going to be a better defensive team.
You fell behind by 1 point there early on and then went on a 17-2 run to kind of, show what you're capable of doing.
Yeah, we kind of stuck to one team. We had a really bad lineup with the one group. But we knew that was going to happen because we're playing so many guys. It's really not about the score. Like, who really cares about what the score looks like? What does our team look like? Do we look like a team? Are we organized? Are we disciplined? Are we playing together? I thought for the most part we were, but there were some really rough stretches, as you saw. But this group's got a lot of players. We got probably 2 at every position. It was kind of neat to see those 5 freshmen on the court together there at the end. We're probably one of the only schools in the country that went out and took 5 high school kids. And you saw, I thought Elijah at times looked really good. David Awizi is really good. Adlin's potential is through the roof. Braden is a tough kid. And Kingston's a great player that plays off the catch. And he's a great athlete, right? He can attack closeouts. So it was neat to see those 5 kids there at the end to play those minutes. But it's a long year, and I don't think we'll wear down. We have good depth, but we got to keep coaching and getting better.
Coach, I want to ask about the front court playmaking that we saw here. I think Gary, Carson, and David all had 3 assists apiece. How much of a factor has that been playing in the offense this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's about getting to the next advantage. It's about being unpredictable. It's about, having your forwards having an understanding of, they're kind of the connectors of the offense, right? They can at any time go from low to high and create an advantage, whether it's a screen, whether it's a catch. Now they got to read the defense, right? Like MJ and Mason and some of our wings, they're going to be denied a lot, right? Especially when you're playing against the Aztecs and some of these teams. So to have the ability to have these forwards see the game, that's really what we've been doing a lot of. Our guards dribble too much. I want to get into more chase action where we're just, we're throwing the ball, like we call it a rifle. We rifle to the corner. Now we can get shots or we can get chases where we're chasing the ball. But we have no idea what we're doing offensively, to be honest with you. We're going to be good. To get 88 and we haven't done anything, I feel pretty good about our offense.
Kind of along with that, it seemed like especially early in the game, there was kind of a concentrated effort to work inside out rather than kind of the driving kick outside in game. I know that was kind of an off-season focus, but what did you see out of that group?
Yeah, it's been different. You know, I've lost a lot of sleep over the last 2-3 weeks. And then organically one day at practice, we came up with this little formula for our forwards, and it was pretty good. You know, we have some quick hitting actions to get the ball inside. If we can't get it inside, we're going to play out of pick and rolls or flares. It's interesting. You know, every team presents different challenges. You know, last year we played a little more 4-round 1. This year we'll play 4-round 1, but at times we may be 3-round 2, or we're really trying to get the ball inside. You know, Gary was just okay tonight. He's been really good at practice. You know, Zach has been really good. I think we all know what KT's capable. He's a great player. Same thing with David Oweezy. Like, they're big and strong, and they can really score around the block, but they can also play on the perimeter. So it's an interesting deal. Like, every year when you start getting these guys out of the portal and trying to figure out how to match them, and you know, the nice thing is they like each other. That's important. That's our culture, right? We over me. They understand the brotherhood here, the expectations at Utah State. Guys like MJ, I think, is really bought in. He's watching a lot of extra tape. Colby, some of these new kids that we got. You know, I thought Luke really struggled tonight. He'll get there, right? He's got to play to his strengths. This is a totally different system than Air Force, all the cutting and the different things. So we'll get guys better this week. It's going to be a great challenge on the road against San Francisco. Top 50, top 60 team in the country, probably pick third in the WCC. And then you turn around and play Westminster and VCU the following week. So we don't have time to waste, right? Like, we got to go.
I wanted to ask specifically about Tucker. I mean, he's gotten a lot bigger in the offseason. It looked like you're using him a lot more inside rather than just purely shooting in the
Yeah, just don't want to be a one-trick pony, right? I thought last year he didn't mix it up at all. You know, he went up about 3 weight classes, right? When you look at Tuck, Tuck could have went in the portal. He could have bailed like 75-80% of kids do, right? They transfer, they have bad season. Let me find the next school. Tuck didn't do that. You know, he said, let me find the weight room, right? Let's find the weight room. Let me go gain 20 pounds. And you saw it in his play, right? He finishes around the rim better. He's more comfortable crashing the glass. He's more comfortable finishing around the basket. So I think he'll get better and better. Adlin will be that same guy, right? Adlin's, 188 pounds. Told him he needs to eat 7 meals a day. We got great restaurants here in the valley, in the Cache Valley. I think it's an underrated place for food. Everybody talks about we don't have all these fancy restaurants. I've found a lot of good ones. Addie needs to find a lot of good restaurants, because not 4 meals, he needs 7. And you saw Tuck. I mean, he did it. And you get knocked around, man. I don't care who you're playing. You got to be physical.
Colby seemed to bring a real spark in the second half fairly early on. It was a 2-point game, and then he comes in and it's an 11, 12-point game after that. What was he able to do to help with that?
I think Colby is he's going to get better and better too. He can fill it up. I mean, he shot 38% last year from Butler. If we get him, MJ, Tuck, all our guards, Drake Allen, you can get those guys to understand how you improve your shot numbers. It's not how many you take, it's how efficient of the shot are you taking. Colby and MJ will get a lot of shots, right? Like transition threes, so will Tuck, so will Mace, all these new guys. I think Colby's still figuring it out. He's a little bit like Dayton Albury last year, right? We got him, and it took him a little time to figure out, and then he was really, really a productive player. These guys that are, transferring, it takes them a little time. Just because you add them to your roster, it doesn't mesh right away. You have to go through some things to really figure out who these guys are, how we can help them. We're never going to turn our back on them. We're always going to work with them, get them better. And we wanted them to play through some of the struggle today, and I thought we had a chance to do that. And also we probably could have left some other guys out there, but purposeful, we weren't going to do that. We weren't going to play guys a ton of minutes.
You mentioned playing through the struggle. I know there was a timeout early in the second half where I think at that point Seattle had made like 11 of 12 shots spanning the first and second half. I think that was where you guys then took over the game. Just what was it like for you to see that, where you had a bad stretch, at least allowing points?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I think you can only get it in the game, right? Like, you learn so much. You got to be able to handle success. You got to be able to handle, when you fail out there, right? Like, that's what sports are. There's going to be a lot of crazy moments. I thought last night in our football game, we showed tremendous resilience, tremendous toughness, right? And that's really what all our Utah State sports are. Like right now, our women's volleyball is on a roll. Like they are rolling. I think they've won like 8 in a row, and you see the confidence building when I go to their games, and you see football bending, but they did not break. They said, we're going to get it done. And that's what it takes, Jason. You don't get it unless you get it against some of these other teams. You can do all the constraints at practice and all the different things. And we've ran a really hard camp. We've been hard on our guys, but one thing we did a bad job, we got to get up and down more. Our guys looked winded, I thought, in that second, half a little bit. All right. Thanks, guys. Yep.